Morning Blue Collar Academy. As said in the title of this video, thought maybe sharing my experience on how I quit smoking cigarettes and using tobacco products might help some of you. If you're not interested in stopping, then this video is probably not for you. You can go ahead and just move on. And nobody's mad at you, brothers and sisters. It is what it is. Well, I guess we could start out by saying I'm about 34 years old. Probably started smoking, definitely 18. I was smoking cigarettes for sure. There's been some times where I haven't smoked here and there for reasons unknown. But for the most part, been smoking pretty steady since about 18 years old. The last 5 years, I'd say I was definitely a pack a day. End of story. 7 days a week, 365. In the last 2 years of my process of getting started with quitting, because I think when you actually go to quit smoking, the process starts long before you actually quit. It all starts in here, because that's where it ends, is inside your brain. I was under the impression I couldn't live without a cigarette. I'd wake up in the morning first off, I'd wake up in the morning hacking like I was already dying. And I knew that the only way I could stop hacking was by hit that cigarette. If anybody shares that problem, leave a comment on how that's a wonderful experience. But, so that's, that was the beginning. I, was tired of waking up, choking to death, basically. Because smoking never really bothered me. I actually was under the impression that I enjoyed it, and I loved to smoke. When people were like, "Why do you smoke?" I fucking love it, dude. Worry about yourself. Until I realized I don't like this shit anymore. So the battle began a couple years prior to me actually quitting. So it started with my doctor prescribed me the patches, 21 milligrams, 14 milligrams, 7 milligrams, and some gum to chew on in the meantime because you're a fiend. Well, I got through the 21 milligrams patches. I started into the 14s. I was completely off cigarettes for about a month and a half, almost 2 months at that point. But I was still loaded up with nicotine. I was still loaded to the max with nicotine. So, I wasn't really gaining any progress. So, after the patches, I indulged in a cigar. And that cigar was kind of my gateway back into cigarettes. After that cigar, I was kind of open to the idea that I could smoke nicotine without smoking cigarettes. Then I'm hanging out with a buddy one day, and he lights up a nice cigarette, and I'm thinking about it, fighting it internally. And I go, "Hey, mind if I get one of those?" He says, "For sure." Because nobody understands your struggle. Nobody cares, nobody knows, nobody understands. So he gives me the cigarette, I light up, and after I left his house, I bought a pack, and I was right back to a pack a day, like nothing ever happened. And shortly after that, my second round of realizing, man, I'm back onto a pack a day, and I want to quit. I said, well, I'll start chewing tobacco, because at least I'm not smoking cigarettes, right? That's kind of sick, but I got a cigar and bar, which is funny. I don't smoke or drink. This is Old Sweater, Virginia City, Nevada. If anybody knows, if you ain't been, go check it out. Family owns the bar. So I was like, I'm gonna go, chew some tobacco. So what did I do? Go down, get me a couple cans of Grizzly, Wintergreen, boys, and started dipping. I enjoyed the shit out of that too. I'm an addictive person, so. Now I'm addicted to like fucking sobriety. It's insane. But so I started dipping, So I just went from smoking a pack a day to dipping, and then I justified it like this. I was like, well, it can last me like 3 days, dude. So I'm definitely winning. You know, I'm not smoking. And I'm not getting a tobacco product as often. That's the kind of sick mentality you start to tell yourself as a straight addict, bro. Like, I don't care if you're on heroin, meth, weed, or cigarettes, alcohol. It's all the same shit, bro. It's all literally the same. It's an addictive product that will just fucking destroy you, either instantly or over time. The worst drugs are the ones that destroy you over time, because you don't actually get to see the fuckery. So, back at it. So I'm dipping, and then I hit the wall again. Man, I need to stop dipping. So I go back to smoking, and then I go back to dipping, and then I get. And I've tried the Zen pouches, man. I've tried it all, bro. Literally. And then what actually finally worked for me, because I'm a real research orientated kind of person. I mean, what is everybody here on YouTube for? Some sort of information, right? Or entertainment. So I started researching, you know, other people that have quit, what's their stories, actual, you know, just horror stories basically of smoking, because I could spook myself if I really get mentally fucked off. A weak mind, you can trip yourself out. So I had a weak mind at that moment, so it was very easily, I was able to trip myself out. Well, it wasn't until I actually went to my particular brand. I'm not going to say the brand. I'm not going to get in trouble here for smutting somebody up. You could do the research on your own. But go do the research on your particular brand that you enjoy. And go to their websites and go get the chemical list of what's in that cigarette. For me, that was kind of like the done deal. I was already on the path of starting to eat right and work out, but I still had this nasty habit of smoking cigarettes. Now, how many people actually go to the gym and still smoke? If that's you, go ahead and smack me a thumbs up, just so I know, you know, how many people were as crazy as I was. I mean, I met a bunch of people, so I know people do, but I thought I was the only maniac that was going to the gym for an hour, and then I'd come out of the gym on my way home, have a cigarette. I mean, it was just ridiculous. But ultimately, once I started doing the research on the actual chemicals I put in my body, I went ahead and screenshot that, and I blew it up, and I put it on the screensaver of my cell phone. And I told myself, I said, starting tomorrow, I'm not gonna smoke. I went to bed, probably slept 8 hours like a fucking weenie. And then I got up, and I already had 8 hours, you know, nicotine free. And I told my wife, and I told my family members, and I apologized in advance to everybody around me. And I said, hey, you know, one of the biggest things is it says you're gonna get irritable, you know? So please, if I get irritable in the next day or so, support me. Don't bend me over and break me off. And I swear on everything I love, 72 hours, hardcore dedication, the habit was broken, bro. The nicotine's expelled from your body. Literally after 72 hours, everything else is in your head. 100%. So hopefully my story enlightens you to quit smoking. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you're interested in quitting smoking. So I highly suggest it, because your health can improve instantly. Your energy comes back. Everything does rejuvenate. I mean, even if you've been smoking 20 years and you're in your 60s, you know, it's never too late. Get after it. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you. Hopefully this helps somebody. Till the next time.